Hey, Louis, how you doing? Welcome back, my friend. Nice to see you. See, it turned out pretty good. I'm trying to get these roof spots in here. Um, I gotta figure out a way to vacuum this place up. It's a mess. So, hang on a second. I gotta. Okay, so I had to vacuum some of this up because I'm tracking it all over the place. Hey, Leigh, how you doing? Leah, Leigh, Lee, Leigh. Oh, Lee. What's up? Okay, so I got a whole bunch of stuff I'm doing right now. So anyway, this thing is coming out really good. I'm trying to get the rough spots here, which requires me to do a little bit more sanding. I had one of my tools break on me, so okay. So now, you see, there's some rough spots there. Not really rough spots, but the rings. All right, so they're not that deep, but the trick is trying to get them out. And sometimes it's a pain in the rear. You have to get down a little bit. Get down, get down, get down, get down. So what are you guys up to? See, now I've got these little sanding devices here I can use. They worked out pretty good, actually. Okay, so now I gotta get my biggest spot. There's a spot here. There's kind of a pain. As you can see, there's marks there. A lot of times, it's just basically going back and forth with certain um, grits. And I can clean my grits off. I got my grits. Well, that ought to be fun. I have friends of mine in Australia. There's actually a couple guys that are turners that I talk to all the time. They have a turners group in Australia, and they're like, it's hard to talk to them because they're like, like they're already into tomorrow. But every time I talk to them, it's at weird hours. It's fun though. I'm gonna go see Crocodile Dundee. That if I ever get to Australia, I want to go to the Irwin. I don't know if you ever heard of Steve Irwin. He got killed, freak accident when he was the Gator guy. But his kids and his wife run his place, and it's really kind of cool because they got all kinds of wildlife in there. And they do have a program that's on TV every so often, but it's on a cable channel. I love Steve Irwin. That guy was cool. He was taken from us too soon, so. Now, as I'm doing this, it's actually taking a little bit more, but you're actually what I should do is stop and go this way with the sandpaper because a lot of this stuff can be taken down since it's so small. But you got to go with the grain because you're going against the grain. Sometimes it won't stop. It won't stop. And then you got to use. I don't want to have to do it. I used to have. Stuff is all over the place around there. But see, what I've managed to do too is, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just take my air gun. I'm full of air. Message retractor. Hey, Lee. Not Pele, hey, Lee. Okay, so the idea here too is to do, and I can't find it. Bleh. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Top of the morning to you, mateys. Okay, so we only have one. I guess it's you, Lewis. We lost. I guess Lee dropped out. Okay, so what I want to do now. I gotta take this off. Okay, so I don't know if you remember when I was talking. See, this is the mortise that I was showing you. That goes on here, and that's the reason why I changed these. Right? That's pretty loose. I don't know why it's loose on there. Anyway, that's to change those teeth. So the teeth here are doing that on the outside. Now, if I were to make a tenon, I could actually use these inside teeth. But I like this reveal here the way this is. So I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna stick with that. So yeah, see that's so now I'm gonna bring me over to my shop. My bench, it's a mess. See? Thank you, BYK. Um, well, this is just a piece. This is what it started out to be right here. Was this? That's what that is. A piece of ash. It's a piece of ash. Anyway, so that's basically it. Now, what you want to do, when you guys saw this, I don't know if BYK saw this, but see, I'm working on this. For some reason, this thing jammed up on me, so my resin bowls. It didn't exactly turn out right, but oh well. So now what I'm doing, what I want to do is I've got 220 on this. See, this is what I do. I think I got one. What do I got? 220. This one, 320. I have 5 or 6 of these. And what I do is I put different grits on them, so I don't have to worry about taking one. Put on the taking one. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do now is do this. Oh no! I forgot to plug them in. Oh wait a minute. One is plugged. I don't know. Now, normally you see the rings on here, right? So what you want to do is go with the grooves, the grooves, baby. And then here's my next. I'm thinking about this for resin bowl, but I don't know if that's gonna fly. So we'll see. It's basically a bunch of these pieces of wood. I can't use it for anything else. I was gonna glue them on top of each other and then set the whole thing in there, and then fill it up with resin. So we'll see how that works. No, well, here's the thing. Okay, so like this one I'm building here. This is going to be a salad bowl. The problem with that is I have to treat this totally different than I do that. And you can a lot of times put a varnish on that and then put something over the top of it, like a butcher block sealer or something, but you'd have to put quite a few coats on it. Now you gotta let people know about it. Most of the time, you have to let people know that you're putting butcher block stuff in. I don't make them for people to eat out of. Make them it's either a showpiece or you can put apples, oranges, tomatoes, peanuts, popcorn, that kind of stuff in it, and you just wipe it off. The big deal is you just wipe it off. Don't, and it's the other thing. Don't put them in water to where they're sitting there for a long period of time because that just ruins them. That's the wrong thing to do. See, what you got to do, and I'll show you here in a minute, when you're doing bowls like that, you have to take into consideration people might use it for something other than what they're supposed to. Top of the morning to you. I'll show you what I meant. I'll bring something over. Okay, so couple of things. Here's one. Okay, so here's another. And these are about the same. If you ever do anything with food on it, that's what you want. There's another one too, and I forget where I put it. Oh, here it is. This stuff is pretty cool because it's got like an orange beeswax stuff on it. It works out pretty cool. So, and this is where you do the research. Okay, so there's probably other stuff out there. A lot of professional guys. Well, not that I'm not professional, but there's a couple of my friends who finish bowls and they use a combination of liquids for that. Uh, One is a friction polish, and you use um, shellac, denatured fuel, and damn, what is one other thing. Okay, so shellac, denatured alcohol, and boiled linseed oil. And but see, here's the problem I have with that. Okay, so you go out and buy this stuff, you're putting 30, 40, 50 bucks on your stuff. Forget it. I buy I either have that stuff, which is cheaper to use, especially if you're using it for food, and I don't recommend using it for food, but um, I also use a wipe on poly. So if you like wipe on polys, and I get the I get the satin finishes. I don't like the real shiny ones. The only time I use those is if you're trying to hide a bunch of stuff. There you go. So all my life, I'm in everything. I'm in everything, Lewis. I got a train set. I do rock. I do geology. My profession was in forestry. I was a firefighter with the Forest Service for a while. So I worked on cars. When I was a kid, I always thought I was going to be a race car driver. I worked on cars, always trying to hop up stuff. So I can do that. I have a Mustang, so I'm working on that all the time. What else do I know? RC cars. I got too many hobbies. I'll do it. I mean, I'm out there. I'll do it. I don't care. I fish. Um, Hiking, biking, boating. Somebody asked me. It sounds like one of those something that somebody would ask you on a dating site. Oh man, how do I know? Well, it's because there's a list on there that shows you. Anyway, my big thing now is I like doing this. Most of the time, I do it in the wintertime. So, and that's what I'm going to do here now is basically take this off. Maybe, maybe. Sometimes this thing hangs up. You know. So what I want to do here is take this off because oh, you jerk. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's a reason why I'm doing this. All right, you're gonna laugh, but I gotta straighten this mess out. Okay, so I'm going to try and take this stuff apart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take this rough stuff off. So, here's the tricky part. I don't know if it'll work or not, but... Alright, well I gotta measure here and find my center. Alright, so it's 7 inches. So it's a 7 1/8, but I'm just, so it would be 3 1/2. Probably where that's gonna go. That was that way. I gotta remember which way I'm doing this way. 7 1/4. What? What? Anyway. Well, that's where it's going anyway. Alright. So then I gotta take a punch. I am gonna punch. You know, see, this is what happens when you start losing your stuff. Stuffs. Hang on a second. Hang on. Hold on a minute. Alright, well. I gotta find my punch. Well, this sucks. Okay, so. Hang on. Hold. See, I gotta clean my shop up. You know what I gotta do is do clean your shop up day. Oh my god. Okay, so I gotta find another punch. Oh. What the heck? I put it back in there. Alright. No. Okay, so. Okay, so here's the thing. Don't know how this is going to react when I put this in there, so we'll see. So here's the problem with this. I don't know how safe this is going to be. Because, well, so it has to be down. Now this is where you got to be really careful. You see how it was spinning? It's not a grooving. So, you see how the difference is right here? You see there's a little, there's not very much from the, it's like 1/8 of an inch from the top of this to there to where There's like, okay, so it's kind of, I'm judging off the wood, which is this, which is next to impossible. But here's what I'm doing. All right. I'm going to try and shave this off. And in order for me to do this, I have to drop it down because otherwise I'll go all over the place. So, bear with me while I change my settings a little bit. Okay, so there we go. And then, see, this is the hard part, trying to get it off and go to the other side. Oh, that one slid right in there. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, this is what I made a mistake. I'm gonna have to put some kind of a latch on there. All right. Okay, so now I push down on that and lock this thing back into position. This is where I gotta take and start oiling some of this stuff, wood in here, and start to get kind of. I want to get knobs in here, so okay, so now I'm only doing it 650. All right, safety first. See, okay, so you want to make sure that everything's tight. So now here's the key. Do I have a chisel that's going to be worth crap on this, and I don't know. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way. This is kind of an experiment. You know, it's funny. The other day I had like 90 people on here. Where'd they all go? Okay, give me advice. I don't plan on it. Okay, so this is the one I normally do the work with. Okay, so standard number one, safety number one, in case one does come apart, use this. So people, there's other people that add the full face mask and they gas them, you know. So I just have this, but I'm going to get the other one. So that's safety number one. Safety number two is I'm hoping that works. Okay, so we see. Now I'm going to put you over here. Hold on, Mr. Bill! Help me! Now, you see that? They got rid of that friggin' mess, right? So, what I want to do with this is I want to sand this off a little bit. And then I'll take this over on the drill press and take that off a little bit. But this thing's going to go back in the pot, and I'm going to put a different resin. Hopefully this will work, because I got to save this. I know it's a goofy looking thing, and it probably just, by the time I gouge the center of this out in real life, it might be okay. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to take some sandpaper to it here. Now this is 120. I'm just going to get enough. Woo, that's hot on your fingers, Fingers. Okay, so see those little bubbles in there? See that it didn't cure because there's a lot of little bubbles in there, right? But who cares, right? Is that good? I mean, what do you think? You guys out there, 7 people on there. Join Lewis and let me know. What do you think? I'm also, you can talk to me live if you want. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'll get some water. Hang on a second. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I'm going to use wet dry on this. So all right, so it's kind of like if you were doing a car paint job, And the other thing is, too, I always bring this with me because a lot of times you can, Now here's the thing I want to tell you. Wear a smock. I got to get a different bib. See, I was thinking about putting rock and roll in here, but they docked me for copyright infringement. Shit. Let's see if we can do the same thing here. You see the imperfections in there? So a lot of times you have to basically just keep trying to get it flat. Well, this stuff is touchy. Um, I'd like to find some more. Okay, Joe, what'd you do with it? Because I'm working on 15 different things. I got stuff laying all over the place. Oh, there it is. See the rough spots right there? That's still a little tricky. So, see, this is what happens when the resin doesn't work out right. See, it's not, it's not bad. My first one, that was a joke. I think I'm going to do a little bit of damage here first. Hang on, stand by. See, my idea now is to get everything down to that wood. And you can hear it going just because it's not getting all the way down. So what do you think, though? Pretty colorful, isn't it? Yeah, it is, really. Well, 10, 12 people, come on. Get, if you, Lewis, I mean, you guys keep talking. Lewis is the only one talking. Come on, the other 11, what are you guys, shy or something? Ah! Now, when it chucks out like that, it's grabbing pockets, and it's throwing your tool off a little bit. But I'm using the CI5 with a, what the heck is this? It's this uh, carbide tip is made for this. So, but I think it's getting dull. So I'm gonna use this because this is what I use to flatten it. Now, see, this the only part right here is because there's a little bit. It's a little bit higher in spots. That usually you kind of like use. It's really you can use some sandpaper on it. You don't want to really gouge it too much. But actually, that turned out pretty good. You know, I'm almost tempted just to take and turn it the way it is. I don't know. I don't know. I might. I'm not caring about this because it'll probably, I could put resin on it, but it's difficult. I mean, if you're a turner, I've done a lot of stuff. Um, okay, there's two things. When I did that bowl, I did this bowl, and the same stuff. Okay, so what happened? Air pockets. Okay, I've got a list a mile long of things that could go wrong to add to it. But here's my first bowl I ever turned in resin. So what do you think of that one? It's pretty bad, right? Well, actually, there used to be when I didn't finish it at first. It was kind of like this when I had the little stem in there for the spindle, right? So my idea now is I'm gonna finish this off. I'm gonna put a little bit of a tin in it, or a mortise in here, so that it looks like a regular bowl. But I'm basically gonna take just a drill, put this on a drill press and make a little angled thing with a mortise bit. I'm not gonna put it on the here, but I'm actually, even though it kind of didn't turn out, it kind of did. People look at that, that's kind of cool. So what I might do with this is just shine it up as best I can, and then I'm gonna put like maybe a poly or maybe even a shellac on this. So and I've done okay. So that's 2 out of like 10, I think. Okay, so here's the other one. Here's the other one. Now that one turned out the way I wanted it, kinda. All right, you see the air bubbles in there, right? Again, that's showing me I didn't get enough down there. There might have been air in the uh, bark. So this is what I tell people now. Two things. One is pull the bark off, or a couple of things. And I like this the way it is, and I kind of, it's a showpiece. I don't know if I'll ever get rid of it. I thought about drilling a hole in the middle, but just big enough for a 3-inch candle, and that's about it. But hey, Lynn, what's going on? Well, I have pressure treated. It seems to be okay. I mean, this one turned out okay. It's just that there's like a list of things I write down, and I'm gonna have to put it. One day I'll do when I go to do my next resin projects, and I'll show you the list, and it's like a mile long of things you need to do before you even put anything in the pressure pot. So, I mean, I've actually done. I sold the resin bowls, right? I sold some of my resin bowls that I made, or my wood bowl. I made no. I did. Okay, the first three I did. The two that I don't have now are the ones I sold. It has wood in it, and it worked out fine. Um, the resin bowls are great. All right, they turned out great. Whether people like them or not, I don't know. I sold, like I said, 2 out of probably 7. So this one here was a mistake because of the resin I got was bad, and it didn't cost me anything. I mean, they sent me new stuff back, and I've got it over here. But um, what I planned on doing with this was to stick it back in a bowl with new resin, just clear resin. But I got to get these white dimples off and everything first because I don't want you to see them. That's just a lot of air bubbles. And then I've got to straighten this out so it sits flat. And the other thing is you want this here, in here, all these, you can see the difference, right? What I want to do here is make this so um, that they're all level at the top. It actually overflows so that I can have more of and that'll be clear resin and not colored resin. So, or I could just take and do it the way it is now, and just turn it and see what happens. So, I don't know, because I'm going to gouge the middle off. It's a little sticky, but I kind of like the way it looks, but I'm too afraid it's thinner than I wanted it. So, anyway, I'm going to do a little bit here. The only problem with this stuff is if you got a lot of air bubbles, trying to sand it sometimes doesn't do any good. Yes, I do, but I don't know what I do with it. Oh, it's right there. I cranked that up to about 75 pounds and let it sit for anywhere from 24 to 36 hours. That's what I use. So, hey, Lens, last night, okay, when Russ was doing his thing, I texted again on live chat and it didn't go through. I mean, it showed up, but It didn't stay there. It disappeared. I don't know what the deal is with that. Okay, Robbins is the same way. I can't text her. Is that because I didn't join? I'm subscribed, but is that because I didn't join? Because I don't get it with John. I don't get it with Connie. I don't get it with Herb or anybody else. It's just those two. Oh yeah. My latest creation. This is Ash. Ash. I was playing around with my ash. Oh, that's not good, is it? Okay, so the wheels go round and round. As the wheels go round and round, so do I. You know what? I'll put this over here. Show me what you're made of, kid. I'm gonna do a show. I gotta start get on a schedule. Okay, so here's the gig, guys and gals. I will be doing shows, and I will be doing a contest, a challenge, and a contest. I'll pick up something that I've made that's halfway decent, and I won't look bogus, and I'll auction that off, so to speak. Okay, so in the challenge, whoever wins the challenge gets for free whatever I make, and I'll ship it to you for free. All right, what do you think? I know. I think I think you all. Well, it's down to 19 now, but yeah. Len, you still there? Hey, Lewis, he must have dropped off. Okay, here's another thing too. So that was using that was 1,000 grit, right? You see all the bubbles in there? That too tells me it didn't gel. See, that tells me it didn't gel. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna take a break. Let's see, what time is it now? I don't know what time it is. I'll be back on in an hour or so. All right. The boss is calling me. That's what the flash was at the light. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. I'll put it out there before I go. Okay, guys? Later.